What's up guys, Houndish here, and today I've just got a few Destiny 2 news things I wanted to round up. So we have a couple of very brief updates from Bungie. One of them is actually about the new Voidwalker glitch that you may have experienced inside of Mayhem. I'll talk about that in a moment. On top of this though, we have a supposed DLC leak with some very interesting information. It's worth me saying that the source for this is pretty questionable, but it's worth me breaking it down for you guys in case you want to know. There are a couple of other hidden things and secrets, and the possibility of a new live action short film coming in 2018. So first up, of course, it is the holiday season now. Bungie have said that they will be returning in 2018, and that's when we'll get the next blog update. They do add though, in the meantime, please continue to provide your feedback on Destiny 2 and the Dawning in the Bungie forums. So it is going to be a quieter couple of weeks here, but of course Bungie have promised updates in early 2018, so they have to follow through with that, you know. One particularly frustrating item right now would be a Voidwalker glitch inside of Mayhem. So Bungie said, as teams continue to investigate an issue impacting the cooldown for the Voidwalker super ability within the Mayhem playlist, we have determined that the issue will not be addressed before the Dawning ends in 2018. We'll provide additional information once available. So some of you guys have probably experienced this Voidwalker glitch inside of Mayhem right now. Basically it allows the Voidwalker to more or less continuously spam their Nova Bomb, and this is a glitch that can be activated by anybody fairly easily. If you guys want to look into it more, just search it on YouTube. It's pretty much everywhere at this point. Of course, if you are a Voidwalker, then it has the potential to be pretty fun. If you're not running a Warlock though, obviously it's pretty different. I was going to farm some of those Paradox Amplifiers this week in Mayhem, but it looks like more strikes could be on the cards. So it's just worth noting that is not being addressed basically at all inside of the Dawning, and then the Mayhem playlist will actually go away. That is the plan right now, but I do really hope the Mayhem playlist will, you know, pop up a few more times. It'd be nice if they could do things with these playlists, you know, like particular weekends, the week that Iron Banner or Faction Rally isn't live or something, you know, just have a weekend where Mayhem drops in. They could provide a whole bunch of rewards for it, you know, there could be emblems, shaders, increased chance at Masterworks. There you go. They could definitely make, you know, little mini events for weekends and stuff. They don't have to be a huge deal, it's just a little bit extra if players want it. On the subject of new content though, there is a supposed leak about Expansion 2 coming in 2018. Now, I saw this posted to Reddit a few days ago. It's since been deleted. The account has also been deleted, and the person who posted this claimed that this is data mined information. So like any leak, of course, this source is pretty questionable at this point, but some people have asked me to speak about it, so I figured I'd break down what they're saying in this video. Personally, I'm not convinced that this is actually a real leak, but sometimes it is literally impossible to say. We had some leaks before Destiny 2 dropped, which, you know, could have been completely fake, and they did turn out to be real. And I've been wrong on these in the past, so I'll break it down. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comment section. The user posted, Expansion 2 is apparently titled Herald of Nezarec. The setting takes place on Enceladus, featuring a new destination, story campaign, and 3 strikes. The story revolves around a massive ship that has crashed on Enceladus' frigid wastes, which has apparently released a dark force onto the planet. So definitely very interesting right there. Of course, Enceladus is actually a moon of Saturn, and you can see this concept image right here on an icy moon. Originally people speculated that this would actually be Europa, but indeed Europa is a moon of Jupiter. So the concept art that we're looking at could well be of Enceladus, and obviously with this being official concept art, it does seem likely that we'll eventually visit this place. But the supposed leaks continue. Guardians will work alongside Anna Bray as they attempt to find the source for this dark incursion. Rasputin will play a major role in the expansion story, as he is warring with this dark force on Enceladus. So there are a couple of other things there that seem likely. We do see the Hunter in the artwork for Expansion 2, and they do have this wolf icon which was previously linked to the Brays in D1. We also see the formation of a Warmind bunker right there. So immediately the Bray family and the Warmind are two things which are incredibly likely to feature in this expansion either way. There are plenty of logical links, but of course, you know, the promo images, the stuff that we've had so far already suggests these things, so the link itself doesn't necessarily, you know, mean that this is true. They go on to say that there will be 2 enemy races which are brand new, the Frames and the Heralds. It seems as though the entity called Nezarec is the main antagonist of the expansion. Of course, Nezarec has been referred to in Destiny already, so the Nezarec Sin helmet for the Warlock. And if we read the lore tab, it says, he is that which is end, that which covets sin, the final god of pain, the purest light, the darkest hour. When the guiding shine fades and all seems lost, he will call to you. All he offers is not as dark as it may seem, for Nezarec is no demon, but a fiend, dark and vile in ways unknown. He is a path and a way, one of many, and his sin, so wicked, so divine, is that he will never cower when dusk does fall, but stand vigilant as old stars die and new light blinks its first upon the fated eternity. So that is the lore that we have for Nezarec. It's very obvious that Nezarec is linked very strongly to the darkness, but the post continues and says there will be 10 new story missions, 3 new strikes, the Sanctum of Darkness, Balzoth's March, as well as Rasputin's Defense. The main environment on Enceladus will be the Frigid Wastes. Additionally, it seems as if Guardians will infiltrate the Herald's ship, known as the Anomaly. They finally say that there is a new raid lair within the Leviathan titled the Prison of Nightmares, taking place entirely within Callous' Nightmare realm from within the Leviathan. It seems as if we'll be facing Scion and Fallen enemies, with the final boss being Freeborn Otzot. So really interesting stuff to talk about for sure, but again, leaks are just leaks. We can't quantify that this is indeed true. I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts in the comment section though. Do you think this sounds plausible whatsoever, or do you think that this is indeed fake information? Moving on though, a lot of people on Reddit have been talking about Juggler. This was a bonus in Destiny 1 where essentially your ammo for the equipped weapon would not drop, so you'd actually have to be switching weapons to ensure you were getting, you know, special and primary ammo and everything like that regularly. And according to a number of people, including Thought8, whose Reddit post I'm looking at here, there is actually a Juggler modifier which is active at all times in Destiny 2. So there is around a 1-to-3 ratio of equipped versus unequipped weapon drop. Essentially, by the time you've seen around 10 ammo bricks for your equipped weapon, you'll have seen 30 for your unequipped weapon. So it's not a super strict Juggler bonus, but it is pretty interesting that that's kind of a mechanic behind the game. You have to make sure you're swapping weapons, and this could be, you know, useful information when you're trying to pick up ammo and make sure you've got enough. Some people don't seem to be very keen on this mechanic even being there. Personally, I don't think it's a huge problem. Again, if it is a thing that's working in the background, I guess the issue is more that we don't know it's working in the background, so players can't actually play with it in mind. Otherwise though, you know, it's a fairly normal kind of mechanic to see in a game like this. They're trying to ensure that people are using a variety of weapons. Either way, it's interesting to know that these things are, you know, going off in the game. I will link those Reddit posts if you're interested in seeing more. A couple of other things I wanted to point out are 2 emblems. So we have the Master Gardener right here. This is out of the database, as well as the Master Cartographer. Now, to my knowledge, neither of these have actually dropped in the game. Obviously, the Master Gardener does refer to the Infinite Forest, and we do have a pretty similar emblem that can track the heroic adventures that you've completed. But the Master Cartographer emblem is really interesting. You can see this kind of purple icon right there. And if you look at Dendron, which is the boss inside of the Garden World Strike, he does have this kind of holographic effect over the front of him, which is identical to what's on this emblem. So I thought that was worth pointing out. You know, these are emblems that haven't yet been found. And it's also interesting because, you know, we found the Perfect Paradox shotgun, we found Sagira's shell. Both of these ended up coming, you know, through actual progression with the Infinite Forge, which is really nice. So perhaps there are a couple of little things hidden away. Of course, these are just emblems, but there could be other classified items tied along with these, you know, if they were quest items or things like that. With the Perfect Paradox as well as Sagira's shell, we actually got an emblem alongside those rewards. So definitely worth pointing out. Obviously, there is some kind of process that you have to go through to unlock these emblems. I'd be curious to hear if you guys have any theories on that. Another very interesting thing to point out briefly, we have Mayhem Clash currently in the Crucible Director, but if you look on the right hand side, there is another node there which is actually empty, and these didn't pop up until Mayhem Clash was added. It could simply be that, you know, they're paired up in the UI, so whenever one is there will always be another one, but it could hint directly towards, you know, another game mode that we'll be getting. It's interesting because the Trials Report folks who use the API a lot did actually list that they'd found Rumble as well as Mayhem in the database, and this was just a couple of days before Mayhem was actually revealed, so perhaps we will be seeing Rumble return. It's also interesting that it's on the side where competitive playlists are. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely interesting. I think a lot of people would be happy if Bungie announced that Rumble was going to return, or maybe even a doubles game mode or something like that. Of course, we also have details that suggest that Crimson Days will be returning some point in 2018. We have a bunch of ornaments in the database for it. A couple of things to note, Sam and Nico, which is a YouTube channel, the guys work over at Corridor Digital, posted a video on making a Destiny 2 Hunter costume, but in the video they actually said they have the opportunity to make a Destiny 2 short film in 2018. So that's really interesting. It sounds like they could be working on some props and some kind of live action stuff potentially. That could be to promote a new expansion. So I'd be really excited to hear hear more about that if it's going to be a thing. It's been a very interesting year for Bungie and Destiny going into Destiny 2, you know, with the things that have changed and all of the conversation with the community. And for us who are still playing, that is a conversation that will continue into 2018. And I'm very eager to hear from Bungie in the new year. As I've mentioned before, we can't afford for them to go kind of super quiet now. Once we get back from the holiday break, there are a number of things on the list, some of which is very exciting. We just need Bungie to follow through and actually bring it into the game. But that's going to sum up this video, guys. If you've enjoyed it, a like is very much appreciated below. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on any of the stuff in this video, or any of your thoughts about Eververse and microtransactions, especially with the dawning going on right now. If you're new to the channel though, be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see more Destiny 2 content going forward. For now though, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.